Let's get right into it. Yesterday, we had this speech. This is one of the days where you can clearly say, well, okay, this is what I voted for. Now, I also voted for Congress to codify a lot of these executive actions, executive orders. So this is yet another function of the executive branch coming out, exposing all of this. J.D. Vance says, for years, some hospitals and healthcare providers have been subjecting children to horrific experimental treatments in the service of radical gender ideologies. Now, just think about that for a second. We are experimenting on our children. We're literally like Dr. Frankenstein, mad scientists, and we're not just talking about one person. We're not just talking about Dr. Jack Kevorkian, who was wanting to, do the assisted suicide thing or whatever, the euthanasia. We're not talking about that. We're talking about doctors all across the country that have bought into this. They could be living next door to you. And I don't mean to cause some sort of red scare, but it's incredible when you think about how widespread this actually has become. Not one or two, but it's a permissible form of thought accepted among the medical industrial complex that we are abusing and experimenting on children and calling it healthcare. That is incredible to me.
Yeah, and the bottom line is these hospitals, these these industries that are popping up, and I guess they're less prevalent these days because the environment is not as conducive to it. But let's be honest, the number of these clinics went from nothing to just booming across the country in places of all that you wouldn't expect it, like Texas. We're seeing these businesses in Texas, and I know that there's a ton of blue areas in these conservative states, but it was disgusting. These people have sold their soul to Satan in name of the almighty dollar, and they're trampling over children to get to that dollar. There's a special place in hell for people who will cut off healthy body parts of children, who will give them these hormones that permanently affect their ability to go through puberty. It is a lifelong decision. And I've said it before, and they say it's a simple example. We don't let 12-year-olds get tattoos. We don't. I have a lot of tattoos. My son likes them. He's 15. He's like, Dad, you got to let me get a tattoo. And I said, no, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to let you make a lifelong decision at the age of 15. I didn't get my first tattoo till I was in my 40s. It's, which I know I'm an anomaly on that. But regardless, we don't give kids the ability to have a tattoo. Why do kids have to have a parent's permission to get their ears pierced if they're under a certain age in most locations?
Yeah.
Okay? And we're giving them hormones to keep them from going through puberty? What the hell is wrong with these people?
I don't know. But that brings us to today's first segment, Trans Women Are Men. Here is J.D. Vance alongside RFK Jr. Speaking truth.
Hey, everybody. This is Vice President J.D. Vance. I'm here with my friends and colleagues, of course, our great Health and Human Services Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Admiral Brian Christine, the Assistant Secretary for Health. Parents bring their children to doctors because they trust them. They trust doctors to tell them the truth, and they trust hospitals to put their children ahead of ideology and profit. But when that trust gets violated, parents deserve to have a government that will stand up for them and for their kids and do something about it. Today, the Trump administration is proud to announce we're doing exactly that.
Today, HHS released Wolves in White Coats, a report examining pediatric gender medicine and insurance building across America. The findings raise serious questions about what families were told, what insurers were told, and how these procedures were built.
Today, Secretary Kennedy and I referred hospitals and clinics identified by this review to the Department of Justice and the HHS Inspector General for possible violations of federal law. These allegations are crazy, and they demand investigation. When children may have been harmed and families misled, it's on those of us in power to find the truth and to seek justice for kids who are harmed by these doctors.
Under the previous administration, my predecessor, Richard Levine, promoted what he called gender-affirming care for minors.
Okay.
And there's nothing...
Levine was the
the dude.
the dude.
I'm the first female.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Even though I have a penis.
He was nightmare fuel. He was the stuff nightmare. I remember the curly hair.
Scary.
Oh my goodness,
dude. And he was our health. What was it? The health. Whatever his title was, but it had health in it, and I was like, we're putting these freak shows in charge of the nation's health? What the hell? This is ideology gone amok, where you have let this mental disease infect not only your families, but you are letting it affect the nation. And this idiot had the balls, literally and figuratively, to come out and say that he was the first female such and such. Dude.
The Assistant Secretary for Health of the United States Department of Health and Human Services.
Thank you.
And he is absolutely. We really need to talk about what an upgrade this is. One second while because we're going to pull up you guys probably remember what he looks like. But the first image that comes up, oh my goodness. God. The first image that comes up is, it's like nightmare fuel. Look at this.
Okay.
It's just
Remember the Biden administration
terrifying.
making this like a glass ceiling moment? Like what an accomplishment.
Oh, yeah.
America.
Oh, yeah. Look at this.
It reminds me like some weird combination of the Ghostbusters 2 painting guy. You know what I mean? Like, you will bring me a baby.
Oh, yeah. I am Vigo.
Yeah. You will bring me a baby. And
Child.
Golly, I don't remember that movie that well. I think I watched it one time.
He kind of looks like that, just a little bit, you know.
He is a Vigo.
Yes. This is why we miss Eric. This is why seat number 3 has to be filled.
Woo. Sorry, went off the rails.
Okay, back to this.
Nothing caring about that. These are sex-rejecting, mutilating, transgender procedures promoted by the Biden administration, and thanks to President Trump's leadership, we're changing course. The Wolves in White Coats report issued by my office at HHS examines a medical system that subjected children to profound interventions while serious questions remained about evidence, about informed consent, and about financial incentives. The report found more than 225 hospitals and health systems established pediatric gender programs nationwide where they preyed on vulnerable children and told families that their kids needed life-altering medical treatments when what they really needed was compassion and counseling.
So many of these people got rich, not by doing what was good for the patient, but by actually mutilating these kids. It was disgraceful. And if someone broke the law, we are going to hold them accountable.
If the medical establishment failed children, we will confront that failure and restore the sacred duty to do no harm.
And if our public health institutions lost the trust of American families, we're going to earn it back with truth, with transparency, and with gold standard science.
Together, we're going to protect our children, and importantly, we're going to restore trust in public health. When you walk into the doctor's office, you have to know that they're going to do the best by yourselves, by your children, by your family. And we will hold accountable anyone who would betray that trust. We've got so many great doctors. We can't have a few bad doctors tarnish the whole lot. Thank you, everybody.
He's exactly right about the cascading failure of trust. I'm that way. I mean, you go to the doctor. I'm sorry. I don't trust, or I'm very skeptical of everything that I'm told, just because it's all been eroded, whether it's this or whether it's COVID or whatever, and that actually can make, in the long run, can actually make people less healthy. You know what I mean? Well,
and I also want to point out something, that this is not just happening in these gender, affirming, just to use their term, facilities. This is happening in everyday doctors' offices. We've seen countless reports, and there'll be a mom and she'll be doing a video and posting it on social media talking about something incredibly tragic just happened today at the doctor's office. I was taking my 14-year-old in for a routine checkup, or maybe whatever the case may be, and the nurse said, "Okay, Mom, if we can go ahead and step out." And she's like, no, I'm not going to be stepping out. Mm-hmm. She's like, well, I have some questions that I need to ask just her. And she goes, let me see your question book. And she said, well, these are just for her. And she said, let me look what's on your clipboard. And do you identify as another sex? They were going down there, and they didn't want to ask that in front of mom. And I was like, this is the core of the problem, because you have trans kids who have mentally ill parents, because that's where it starts. These ideologically rotten people, they are infecting their kids. If you have a 3-year-old trans child, you, as the mom and the dad, if they're both involved, need to get your ass some medical help, and I'm talking mental medical help, or you need to have those kids taken away from you, because you are about to make lifelong negative impressions on that child.
Yep.
Is that as bad as beating a child?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is.
This is child abuse.
You're
It's under
talking
the
about
same
permanent
category.
scars, and even beating a child. You know, once that child gets out of that environment, their life may improve. They may be better for it. I'm not advocating for beating your children.
not for the beating,
Not
but
for the beating.
You're saying like
I'm saying that they use that as something to persevere. We've seen it.
Yeah, they can go.